Hi Nikhilesh, thank you so much for joining us today.
Hi Kushal, thanks.
First of
Thanks for
all,
inviting me.
congratulations on scoring 99.97 percentile in CAT.
Thank you. Thank you.
So first, can you tell us a little bit about your preparation journey?
Yeah, sure. So I started thinking about going for an MBA or taking the CAT in about May,
Okay,
April to May of 2020. This is after the lockdown happened, and my sort of plans for what I was going to do changed a bit in the lockdown.
okay.
And so I had done an undergraduate from abroad, from the USA,
Oh, okay.
and returned back to India to work with my family. And then I decided, sort of, let's try an MBA and let's see what happens. I was very focused on wanting to do an MBA in India because I really believe that where you want to live is where you should be doing your MBA from, because that develops networks, you develop a set of friends who are more likely to be around you, that you can tap into the rest of your life. And you just I find it the most useful contribution. I think the network is one of the most useful contributions from an MBA, so I wanted to do it in India since I was considering living in India going ahead.
Okay,
So yeah, I started thinking about in April, May,
right,
bought uh, borrowed books from a friend in June, and bought the Crack You mock series in June, and
right.
started preparing.
So what are your thoughts on MBA in India versus MBA in abroad? So what do you think about it?
Yeah, so I don't think there will be much difference in terms of the MBA itself.
Okay,
Abroad, you will get more people from more countries and more exposure if you can go to the top colleges abroad. Yeah, I don't think curriculum wise there'll be a huge difference. The style of teaching will be different based on my undergraduate experience. I can attest to that.
right.
The style of teaching abroad will be very different and more engaging than probably the style of teaching in MBA in India would be. But all in all, I think an MBA in India is also
Right.
pretty good.
Right. So you're a working professional and you gave CAT while you were working. So how did you manage your
Yeah.
time? How many hours a day did you allot for CAT preparation?
So I was lucky in that I was working with family, so I could allot some extra time. So I would roughly work in the first half of the day for roughly 2 hours. I would study. For the first 3 to 4 months, I did that, and then
Okay.
actually I got more into work. So my preparation for CAT actually dipped in September, October, November. I was not giving even I was giving about 1 hour per day, not anymore. Or I would take a mock every third, fourth day, and that's about it. But yeah, for anyone trying to divide their work like this, I would say just allot a specific time of the day in which you're just going to study, and then take each topic one by one and try and complete those topics in those hours.
Right. So how did Krakow mocks and sectional tests help you in your preparation?
Yeah, so CrackU mocks were really useful in that I had no idea what the cat was going to be like. I had taken a couple of practice mocks, but the CrackU mocks were in a really the same format as the cat is. So that was very nice to understand the screen. I think the difficulty level was also approximately the same that I got in my cat. And I am a person who studies mostly from mocks. Like even before when I've taken other aptitude tests, I really enjoyed. The way I studied was just give the mocks and then analyze. So CrackU mocks gave me the time I spent on each question, how easy, hard, or difficult the question was, what topic it was from. So while giving the test, I was entirely focused on the test, and then these things later I could just check out to do analysis. I didn't have to worry about noting all these down. That was really useful. The level of CrackU was very nice, very apt, and the fact that it gave me so much information about my mock that I could later analyze and use it to improve myself.
Okay. So how did you stay motivated during your preparation? When you felt like giving up, what did you do?
I am not the best person to answer that because I don't think I ever felt like giving up.
Okay.
As I'm telling you, I would spend just 1 or 2 hours a day, so I never reached that stage where I was unmotivated.
Right. So can you please
Yeah,
tell us how many mocks did you give and how many hours did you spend on analyzing each mock?
yeah. So I gave roughly, I think about 10 or 12 mocks, 10 or 12 mocks, and I also gave about 6 sections of each section. So if you add the sectionals, they'll become. I gave about 6 to 7 mocks from the sectionals part of it. So in total, I would have given 15 plus mocks. And yeah, more than the mocks, I spent more time analyzing it, why I went wrong. I would I would reattempt the ones I did wrong. I would look at the answers to see where I went wrong.
Right.
And I would spend about a good 3 hours on analyzing the pattern on which topics was I getting wrong, how easy or medium were the questions, what exactly was my score like, was I getting wrong in log, geometry, how much time was I spending on the questions I got wrong, how much time was I spending on the questions I didn't end up attempting.
Okay.
Spent a lot of time analyzing all those to help me cut out those errors from my attempts.
Okay, so what was your most challenging section and how did you overcome that limitation? What was your strategy in that section?
Yeah, my most challenging section was quant, QA.
Okay.
I was pretty sorted with English and I loved doing the ILR, so I was sorted on those sections. In quant, I really decided early on that there are certain topics that I'm good at, which was arithmetic mostly. I decided I'm just going to focus on maximizing my strength. I completely forgot about my weaknesses. I did not even try to do anything in geometry and log. I would just leave the question if it came in front of me, and I would get back to it only at the end if I had time.
Okay.
So I really, my strategy was really just maximize your strength and make sure that you don't miss out any marks on these topics, even if it takes a bit of extra time.
Right. So can you tell us about the strategy you followed in each section?
Yeah. So since I did an education from abroad, my undergraduates, my English was pretty strong, and from day one I was pretty on point with English, and I did not have any real difficulties. For DILR and for quant, one of the biggest strategies I followed was I did not focus on getting down to the exact answer.
Okay.
What I focused on was eliminating incorrect answers. So from the 4 options that we would get, I would really focus on eliminating 2 of them. And then when I was left with 2 options, I would just choose the one I thought was more likely. And I moved ahead because in that case, my probability of getting it correct is 0.5 and the negative marking is only 0.33. So hence, I really focused on just getting down to 2 options and then choosing one and moving ahead in the interest of time. And hopefully that would help me attempt more questions in DILR and in quant. And it really helped. In DILR, I managed to attempt 18 questions
Okay.
out of 24. And in quant, I attempted, I think 18 or 19. So ensuring that I don't waste time when I've gotten down to an almost correct answer and moving ahead was my biggest strategy. And the second strategy I really used was back calculating through the options. Instead of trying to solve the arithmetic sum or the log sum as it is, I would just look at the options first, input one of them, assume one of them is the answer, and then see where that takes you.
Right. So can you quickly run us through your CAT day? How was it and did it go as per your strategy? How were you prepared for that?
Yeah, the CAT day was absolutely brilliant.
Okay.
Everything was fine. I was in the middle slot. It was a Sunday, so I woke up pretty nicely. Everything.
Okay.
In the center, I got a bit nervy because it took the COVID protocols and all took about 45-50 minutes. For 1 hour, we were sitting in front of the screen, but I just kept drinking water and deep breathing to keep calm. And once the exam started, it all went to plan. Yeah, I was able to attempt and do work exactly as per how I strategized. That was fine.
Perfect. So can you tell us what was that one most important thing that actually helped you improve your scores in any section?
Yeah. So the most important thing, as I said, was my biggest strategy was the one of choosing one answer when you're down to 2 options and not
Okay.
focusing on getting down to that one option. I've already spoken about that, so I won't put more time. But there was a clear pattern until like about middle of August. I would attempt about 10 questions in DILR and 12, 13 questions in quant. And then I started adopting this strategy, and by end September, I had doubled my attempts in both the sections.
Brilliant. So can you give us some tips for the future CAT aspirants?
Yes, my 2 tips. Learn from people who have taken CAT before. I myself consulted with a brother of mine, and then I got these ideas and implemented them to do well.
Okay.
So just talk to people about their strategies and like talk to people you trust, especially, and take their opinions. And second thing is really lose the fear of failure, because I lost the fear of failure as I was already working and I got some better direction in my life. I lost the fear of failure and I was like, okay, if I do well, I do well. If I don't do well, nothing, I'm not really losing much. I went with that attitude and it really helped keep your mind clear. If you're worried or nervous during the exam, cat is the minute small things in every question that are there to trip you up. And if you're nervous, you're going to get tripped up. So if you're very calm and you don't have any fear, you'll catch all those small tricks and ensure you don't make mistakes.
Great. So thank you so much, Niklesh. Thanks for your time and thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you.